Diane Keaton, one of the most loved and talented actresses of the last 50 years, has passed away. Her funeral was quiet and filled with white flowers, hiding many stories that had once shaken Hollywood. No one expected Keanu Reeves, her former co-star, to give such a touching farewell speech. He said he felt lucky to have worked with such a kind and talented person. His words were not just a goodbye but hinted at a deeper connection between them, something more than just work. On the morning of October 11, 2025, Diane Keaton passed away in Los Angeles at the age of 79. Her family said she died of pneumonia and thanked everyone for their love and support. They also shared that Diane deeply cared for animals and often helped the homeless. They asked for privacy during her final months. News of her death spread quickly, leaving Hollywood in mourning. That evening, Saturday Night Live ended its show with a black and white photo of Diane and the words "In memory of Diane Keaton." It was a simple but emotional tribute to a woman who changed how Hollywood saw leading ladies. Many stars shared their sadness. Robert De Niro said, "I'm very sad. Diane was a true soul." Goldie Hawn called her a woman so unique she could never be replaced. Bette Midler said, "The memories of her go beyond imagination." Nancy Meyers, who worked with her, said, "Working with Diane changed my life." Others like Mary Steenburgen, Jane Fonda, and Ellen DeGeneres remembered her as creative, kind, and unforgettable. At the private funeral in Los Angeles, Keanu Reeves spoke softly and emotionally. He said Diane was professional, generous, and truly special. Working with her in Something's Gotta Give was one of the most meaningful experiences of his life. He added that she wasn't afraid of being alone, she embraced it and turned it into something beautiful. He ended by saying that Diane never needed people to understand her, she made them want to. Everyone there could feel that their bond went deeper than friendship. Diane had calmly prepared for her passing. Her friends said her health had declined quickly, but she kept writing in her journal and taking photos of her garden every morning. There was no big public memorial, but many people brought flowers to the Warner Beverly Hills Theater to honor her. Fans from all generations shared pictures of Diane's most famous roles: the clever woman in Annie Hall, the modern mother in Baby Boom, and the confident lover in Something's Gotta Give. Each role showed a different part of Hollywood's history that she helped shape. Her death was not just the end of a career, it was the end of a style of acting that was real, graceful, and free. Nancy Meyers said later, "She proved that women at any age can still be the center of the story." Before she became a symbol of independence and intelligence, Diane was just a young woman from California chasing her dream. She was born on January 5, 1946, in Los Angeles, the oldest of 4 children. Her father was an engineer, and her mother, a photographer, inspired her creativity. She grew up in Santa Ana, where she joined singing and drama clubs. After studying briefly in college, she moved to New York in 1968 to pursue acting. Her first big break came on Broadway in Hair. While others appeared nude on stage, Diane refused, showing her strong sense of self. However, she faced pressure about her looks and developed an eating disorder. She later admitted she would eat large amounts of food and make herself sick, just to fit in. It took years and therapy for her to recover, and she later said, "Fear taught me strength." In 1969, she met Woody Allen during Play It Again, Sam. They quickly became close both personally and professionally. Woody admired her wit and honesty, and together they created Annie Hall in 1977, a film that changed cinema forever. The character Annie Hall was partly based on Diane herself. She said, "Woody wrote the perfect version of me. I just had to be myself." The film earned her an Academy Award and made her one of Hollywood's most important actresses. Diane's character in Annie Hall broke the mold of traditional women in film. She was smart, independent, funny, and real. Her fashion in the movie, with trousers, shirts, and hats, became iconic. She showed that being free meant being true to yourself, not rebelling. After Annie Hall, fame brought both light and pressure. In 1981, she starred in Reds with Warren Beatty. It was a difficult film to make, and Diane pushed herself to exhaustion. Though the movie won many awards, she took time off afterward to recover. In the 1980s, Dianne continued to reinvent herself. In Baby Boom, 1987, she played a businesswoman who becomes a single mother, showing that women could balance strength and warmth. The film was a hit, but her next movie, The Good Mother, failed. Instead of giving up, she started choosing roles that were more emotional and deep. Her personal life was also widely discussed, especially her long relationship with Al Pacino, her co-star in The Godfather. Their love lasted almost 20 years but eventually ended. Dianne once told him, "Either marry me or let's end it." They parted ways but remained respectful of each other. Al later said, "She was my light for a long time." In the 1990s, Dianne began working behind the camera. In 1995, she directed Unstrung Heroes, which was praised by critics and even received an Academy Award nomination. This marked a new chapter in her life, not just as an actress but as a storyteller. Outside of acting, Diane Keaton dedicated herself to photography, design, and writing. Her memoirs and photo books revealed a sensitive, thoughtful soul who was always reflecting on life. As the spotlight shifted to younger stars, Dianne chose a quieter life. She bought a home in Los Angeles, planted trees, cared for her pets, and spent time photographing the beauty of her surroundings. In a 1990s interview, she said, "I had everything, work, fame, money, but still felt empty. Maybe that's the price of freedom." Her words weren't sad, but honest, showing how she was always searching for balance between creativity and personal peace. After 2 challenging decades, Dianne slowed down. Many thought she had retired, but in 2003, she made a remarkable comeback with Something's Gotta Give, directed by Nancy Meyers and co-starring Jack Nicholson and Keanu Reeves. The movie became a huge success and proved that women in their 50s could still lead romantic stories with charm and depth. Afterward, rumors spread about a romance between Dianne and Keanu, but she simply smiled and said, "I love Keanu, but as a wonderful friend." Their friendship became an example of mutual respect between 2 generations of actors. The film marked a new phase in Dianne's career, reminding everyone that her charm, sincerity, and energy were timeless. In 2006, Dianne became a global ambassador for L'Oréal, celebrated as a symbol of ageless beauty. She also gave much of her time to good causes, especially animal welfare. She worked closely with the Helen Woodward Animal Center, helping with adoption events and rescue campaigns. "My love for animals is the most important part of my life," she said at one event. Dianne also supported housing programs for the homeless in Los Angeles, often donating quietly without seeking attention. At age 50, Dianne made another brave decision. She became a single mother. She adopted her daughter, Dexter, in 1996, and her son, Duke, in 2001. When asked about motherhood, she said, "It's the most humbling experience. It teaches you that you can't control everything." Off-screen, she was a devoted mother who valued family, simplicity, and time together. She continued pursuing her love for photography and architecture, publishing books that showcased her unique way of seeing the world. In her later years, she spent most of her time with her family, her photography, and the rescue dog she adored. She lived slowly but purposefully, finding beauty in everyday life. Even though she wasn't often seen on screen, her presence and influence continued to inspire others, like a soft, steady light that never faded. As she grew older, Dianne gradually withdrew from public life. In early 2025, she sold her Brentwood home, which she had designed and renovated herself. Architectural Digest called it Diane Keaton's aesthetic manifesto, a perfect reflection of her taste, bright, simple, and full of character. 2 weeks after the sale, she passed away, turning that home into a powerful symbol of the beauty she created throughout her life. In her final interviews, Dianne often spoke about independence. "I didn't marry because I didn't want to trade away my independence. I'm not good at nurturing, and I accept that," she said calmly, without regret. She showed the world that freedom wasn't loneliness, it was self-knowledge and courage. Her timeless style, inspired by menswear, trousers, vests, and fedoras, continued to inspire stars like Emma Stone, Kristen Stewart, and Cate Blanchett. One journalist wrote, "Diane Keaton made strangeness seductive and turned difference into pride." In her last interview in 2019, when asked if she had any regrets, Diane replied, "I have no regrets. I've lived my way." It wasn't arrogance, it was peace. She believed that filmmaking was a gift, but life beyond the screen was what made her truly complete. Even as her health declined, she continued attending charity events. At one animal rescue fundraiser, she came quietly, not wanting any attention, simply to help. That small act captured her gentle spirit, a deep compassion for all living things. Diane's legacy goes far beyond her awards and performances. It lives in the way she carried herself, with grace, confidence, and authenticity. She proved that strength can be soft, and beauty can be simple. She showed that women can age with dignity and still shine brightly, without conforming to society's expectations. She left behind an estimated $100 million estate, earned through 6 decades of work, her acting, her books, her real estate investments, and her photography. She had prepared carefully for her passing, placing her assets in a private family trust under her legal name, Dianne Keaton. This ensured that her children, Dexter and Duke, would be the main beneficiaries while keeping their privacy safe. Beyond her wealth, Dianne also left behind her creative legacy, her books, her photos, and her unforgettable films like Annie Hall, The Godfather, and Something's Gotta Give. Her art, her discipline, and her deep love for her children reflected a life lived with integrity and purpose. Diane Keaton ended her journey in peace, but her legacy continues to echo loudly. From the young girl in Santa Ana who dreamed of the stage to the woman who redefined independence and grace, she showed that true beauty comes from freedom, kindness, and authenticity. When the lights of the screen finally dimmed, Dianne remained in our hearts, forever inspiring those who dare to live life their own way.